So what we found from that little activity, the game actually moved along a whole lot quicker because they could remember what cards had been asked for and what ones hadn't. So, and what that then started to do is to encourage them to listen some more, because they realised if they listened, they were getting the most cards and they were going to win. So real good motivation there for them. But then what they also found, that if their turn came around quicker, because I think, oh, I know who's got that, I want my turn, they decided that they had to introduce some rules of their own, which they unduly did. I think it's my game, but they're making the rules, but that's all right. So the rules that they made, they said, if you do not use the person's name first, you miss a turn. And if you're not looking at the person when you're speaking, you miss a turn. And they thought that was really cool, because they really observed a lot more. And if they could get someone that missed a turn, it meant that their turn came around much quicker and they got to have another go. So it was really, I had them hooked. They wanted to play it all the time. And they were asking to play the game, which was really good. So whilst they were having fun, they were also learning and seeing these tools and so forth in their hands. And it also gave them the confidence in how to speak to somebody and address somebody. So I had my greeting client issue of speaking and listening demands sorted, but I still had the consultation and recommendations to sort out. So I thought, well, seeing as how I had them hooked on playing cards, I thought I might just up the stakes for them. So what I did there is the person that was asking for the card, that remained the same. But the person that was replying to the question, they had to reply with a question. Now the question had to be, they had to either describe the tool, they had to either explain what the tool was used for, or they had to give the steps on how to clean the tools. And this worked really well, because then they started, instead of just looking at the cards, it really made them start to read and look at their cards. And it also embedded more the cleaning steps, which was something we needed to get them running a little bit more better with. So if the person that was getting asked that tool and they didn't know the answer, it was okay for anyone in the group to help them out and give them that hand. Because with hairdressing, it's very much a team effort. When you go into a salon, you notice everyone helps each other and supports each other. So by doing that, we were sort of bringing that environment sort of into the group, which was good. Once we sort of gave them those three basic questions, we sort of then encouraged them to think of the other questions that they could ask. Like they could ask for ones like, what would be a maintenance tip for looking after your blow away bar? Or what's a safe handling of using your straightening irons? So they could incorporate any other questions with it, which also brought in the knowledge that they also needed to have for that unit. And that worked absolutely brilliantly, because when they came to do their consultation, which is something we've always found quite hard to teach, haven't we, Trish? And it was that asking the question, but then also being asked a question back, and that they were feeling quite comfortable with that as well. And by asking questions and replying, they were able to get the information from the client and determine what the outcome and how the client wanted their hair done, making the whole process a whole lot more smoother for them as well as us as tutors, because they'd be off getting the information instead of us having to do it. They also had to, in their consultation, explain the process of that service that was to follow. So, and this was easy for them to pick up, because they were in the habit of giving the steps process of cleaning tools. So they had that sequencing habit in developing coming also. So, and with the recommendations, we found that it was just the confidence that they had gained from playing cards, being asked questions, answering them and so forth, that when they had to come and explain something, they just felt so much easier, and I think it was just the confidence that they had eventually developed through just the card game and other activities, of course, that we had during that time. So what happened was very much is that we started out with a simple card game of fish. We ended up with a game or an activity where the students were able to learn about their tools and equipment would probably be known to them, but we also managed to pick up their speaking and listening skills, which was a great benefit and support for us tutors, because whatever instructions and how we taught from then just made everything so much easier for us. And whenever we gave them instructions, it wasn't one at a time. We could give them several and know that they'd go off and complete the task. And it's so much easier and more comfortable. We also found that the students were using a lot more formal language, not only when they were dealing with their clients, but when they spoke to us as tutors, or if speaking with their clients as well. And it's that image and impression they have to give at all times. I sort of said about the sequencing of the processes they could manage. But the whole overall actually built the students' confidence a lot quicker, making our learning and getting more into them was so much easier as well.